Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming your way. Before we begin, we'd like to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the latest news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the team's most passionate fans. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Dan Quinn. Jakori Merritt has plenty of potential and a high ceiling. Through 5 weeks, one of the league's most effective rookies has been Commanders running back Jakori Merritt, who might be better known by his simple nickname, Bill. A 7th-round pick in this year's draft, Merritt performed so well in the offseason, training camp, and preseason that Washington felt comfortable trading Brian Robinson to the 49ers in August. But Washington continued to monitor his growth and development, giving Merritt his first start in Week 5 against the Chargers. Merritt made that decision worthwhile, with 111 rushing yards on 14 carries and 2 touchdowns. He also caught 2 passes for 39 yards. Perhaps most impressive is that he achieved this production on 16 touches in just 28 offensive plays. Coach Dan Quinn told reporters at his Monday press conference that the Commanders chose to lean on aspects of their scheme in which Merritt excelled, and the young running back had a strong week of practice. So we thought this would be the moment for him to step up, Quinn said via team transcript. So I think it really came from him getting better at the system and then having a great week to start. It wasn't as intentional as it sounds, but RB's coach, Anthony Lynn, I think also did a good job of saying, okay, this guy's doing really well, and even after the fumble he was dejected and disappointed and said, man, no. Come back. We're going to fight for this again. Quinn said, I love the way he responded. Despite limited rushing in the first 5 weeks, Merritt leads the league with 6.6 yards per carry. He has 283 rushing yards for touchdowns and 5 receptions for 54 yards. We'll keep pushing ourselves throughout the game, Quinn said. I think he can get a lot better. He'll keep working. That's the fun part for some of these young players. You just keep going. And unlike mistakes like a fumble, you say, okay, how are you going to grow? How are you going to learn from this? So we anticipate him growing and even improving over time, but he has great support. The Commanders' search for a second-round edge rusher has become complicated. Second-year general manager Adam Peters is constantly looking for ways to improve his roster. It's a key reason the Washington Commanders went from a supporting role to the playoffs last season. That mindset won't change while he's at the helm. While the Commanders' defensive line has been a pleasant surprise this season, Peters is reportedly looking for new reinforcements. This is even more important on offense, with ESPN's Adam Schefter revealing that Washington has scheduled a meeting with former second-round draft pick Drake Jackson. Peters was on the San Francisco 49ers front office when Jackson was drafted from USC. He has been injured for nearly 2 years, but is seeking an opportunity to return to the league after being cleared to resume football activities. The Commanders' path to signing Drake Jackson may be more difficult after the Ravens trade. The Commanders aren't the only team interested, and a major development in the league could make Peters' task even more difficult if he intends to bring Jackson to the team. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, the Baltimore Ravens traded pass rusher Odafe Owa and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Los Angeles Chargers in exchange for safety Alohi Gilman and a 2026 5th-round pick. The AFC North club is recovering from a slow start and already appears to be solidifying itself as part of its long-term strategy. They also have room for an extra edge defender now. The Ravens and New York Jets were the other 2 teams coveting Jackson. While the Commanders are in a much better position to compete, Baltimore could offer something far more valuable for the number 61 pick. Play time, and lots of it, that may mean more to Jackson than anything else right now. He needs to string together good games and performances to silence his doubters. The Commanders may not be able to offer that with Dorrance Armstrong, Von Miller, and Jacob Martin playing so well. Peters also recently signed Preston Smith to help fill the void left by Dietrich Wise Jr. The numbers alone make the Ravens a more attractive place if Jackson wants to play immediately. And even with a 1-4 record, Coach John Harbaugh's squad isn't completely out of the running. It will be interesting to see if there are any ripple effects from this blockbuster deal. Hopefully, Peter's previous connection with Jackson will help tip the scales if everything works out health-wise. This trade could put the Commanders' defense on top. National media is saying the Washington Commanders need help in the secondary, but a closer look suggests a blockbuster trade for a pass rusher is the real answer. Winning cures all, but that doesn't necessarily mean a win will solve everything. For the Washington Commanders, defeating the Los Angeles Chargers during their 27-0 run after trailing by 10 points early is good, but it hasn't convinced everyone that their problems are solved. Instead, there's still a lot of talk going on in the football world about what the Commanders need to do, or continue to do, to fix the issues that plagued them early in the first quarter of the season with a 2-2 performance. The national outlook: Washington's victory over LA demonstrated an improved defense, which won at the line of scrimmage. This pressure helped a secondary that had been drafted earlier in the year, and Marshawn Lattimore had his best coverage game of the season, allowing just 8.5 yards per reception on 2 catches. According to Kevin Patra of Pro Football Focus, states Kevin Patra of NFL.com. That said, the secondary still needs help at safety and free safety. The latest assessment we received from the league's internal media outlet said much the same thing, warning about the need for a defensive secondary and asking general manager Adam Peters to do essentially what he did in the Lattimore trade last season as a solution to why that move hasn't worked well enough for them so far. Besides taking the same approach to a problem, perceived or real, as they did to get to the current one, Patra is addressing something else that has arguably had the biggest impact on the Commanders' defense this season: the real position of need. Washington got to Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert 5 times in Week 5, helping the secondary by putting the passer under pressure throughout the game, and they did the same against Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 3. In the other 3 games, the defense combined for 5 sacks. So, just as Patra maintains his position that the Commanders' defense would benefit from a secondary change, we maintain our position that the focus should be on the pass rush. One target we've identified as someone who could become available near the trade deadline is Cincinnati Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, who is on a 2-3 team that has lost 3 straight games since losing quarterback Joe Burrow for most, if not the rest, of the season. The Bengals traded veteran quarterback Joe Flacco on Tuesday in a move clearly aimed at keeping them afloat until Burrow can return to a team with playoff aspirations intact. A perfect buyer meets seller scenario. However, Cincinnati has 4 games remaining between now and the November 4th trade deadline, starting with a road trip against the Green Bay Packers this weekend. Then, there are 3 home games against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Jets, and the Chicago Bears.